Hi everybody, welcome to WQLN Homeroom. I'm Miss Chelsea and this is Candy. Hello! We are so glad and excited that you are here with us today because we love learning with kiddos just like you. So come on in, relax, sit down, stretch out a little bit. We are in for a very fun treat today. What, Candy? I know you want to tell our friends all about Curious George. My friends, do you know who these pictures are of? Yeah, they're of Curious George. I know, Candy. Candy loves Curious George. And today, my friends, we are going to be talking about Curious George. You got it! Because today's topic is about our favorite PBS character. And mine just happens to be Curious George. So who is Curious George? Well, take a look. Take a look. This is Curious George. You might have seen him on TV before on WQLN or maybe at the library in library books. Curious George is all over the place, but I love Curious George so much because he loves to travel and explore. Curious George is always getting into some things. Always. I know Candy one time went traveling with Curious George in the jungle. Was that exciting, Candy? I bet it was. My friends, today I thought that it would be super fun if we played a little game with Curious George here. So we are going to guess where Curious George is. So this says, George is off exploring his community. First off, my friends, do you know, Candy, do you know what a community is? You don't? I wonder if our friends at home know what it is, Candy. Do you know at home what a community is? A community is kind of where you live, like your city or town, but it's the people and places in your town, like the police station. They're a part of your community. And maybe the grocery store. They're a part of your community. So there's of different things that are all a part of your community. Inside my classroom is a class community. We care for each other, we love each other, and we treat each other nicely. I wonder, what is part of your community? Tell your grown-up right now, what's part of your community? Oh, I think I hear some good answers. Awesome. Well, our friend Curious George is out exploring his community. So let's take a look at the pictures on the next slides, and we are going to try to guess where George is at. So I'm going to give you a little hint. George is going to be at places that are in your community too, like maybe the hospital, or the police station. I don't know, we're gonna have to check it out. But would you friends like to play this game with me? I would love that. Awesome. All right, let's get started. You ready? Okay. Ooh, guess where George is now? All right, here's our clues. Let's see. Candy, do you know what this first picture is? You do? What is it, Candy? You're right. I think I see some fruit and vegetables. Ooh, does anyone know this is a red fruit up here that's small and it's actually a berry? I think I heard someone say it. It's a strawberry. And I see something that's orange. What could be an orange fruit? An orange. Oh my goodness. All right. So where is George? I see, what's this called? Oh yeah, it's called a cash register. I see a cash register. Ooh, I think I have an idea where George could be. I also see a cart over there. And what's that last picture? I think that last picture really gives it away. What is that? Oh my goodness, did someone just say it? I think so. Let's see if we are right. Grocery store, is that what you guessed? Oh, George is out in his community at the grocery store. My friends, have you ever been to the grocery store before? I bet you have. Maybe there's so many different types of grocery stores, but grocery stores sell lots of different things. Food mostly, but maybe they also sell shampoo or some other things like light bulbs that you might need around your house. This is a really good place to go in your community when you need something, when you need to buy something. But should we just wander and go by ourselves out in our community? You're right, Candy. No way, Jose. We cannot do that because we should never go somewhere without an adult, right? Let's see where George is going to next. Ooh, all right. I need your super smart brains for this one. I know you have them. All right, here we go. So we have an envelope. What might we need an envelope for? Maybe we are gonna write something, or maybe we need to store something in that envelope. We have a box. The box has some letters on it down here. I see red and white. Ooh, look at our next clue, my friends. It's a box, and it has some letters on it too. It says U.S. Mail. And check out that down there. What is that? I think I have an idea where George is out in his community. Do you have an idea where George might be? Tell your grown-ups, see if you're right. Maybe they can give you a clue. But I think you got it. Are we ready to see? I knew it! George is at the post office. Have you friends ever been to the post office in your community? You might need to go there to get your mail out of your mailbox. Sometimes at post offices they have their own mailbox there. That could be where your mailbox is. Or maybe you have to go there to mail a package or a letter. In these boxes out here, that's where you can mail letters in too. Sometimes you need to buy stamps to mail things, and guess where you can buy those stamps at? Post office. You got it, smarty pants. Are you ready to see where George went to next? Oh, you are, Candy? You're super excited to see where he went? I know, you guys are best friends. All right, let's see. Ooh, this is a good one. All right, we have some clues. George gave us some clues, so here we go. We have a lamp. Now, why might George need a lamp? Maybe wherever he is, it's dark. Or maybe, I don't know. What do you think, friends? Why might George need a lamp? I don't know. Let's move on to our next clue. Look, there's a Curious George book. Oh my goodness. So he needs a lamp and he needs a book. Maybe he needs the lamp because it's dark and he wants to read the book. Maybe. What do you think, Candy? I know. I don't know either. Maybe. All right, we have a cart over there. I wonder what goes on that cart. Have you ever seen a cart like that before in your community? You have, Candy? Candy, do you know where George is? Oh my goodness, don't tell. Keep it a secret. Keep it a secret. And our last clue is computers. So George is somewhere in his community with a lamp, a cart, some books, and a community. And some computers, I mean. Oh my goodness. I don't know. George has me stumped on this one. What do you think, friends? Where do you think George is? Tell your grown-up. I just have no clue. Oh my goodness. George is at the library. My friends, have you ever been to the library in your community? There are so many different fun things there. Sometimes they have activities. Sometimes you can just go there to read a book, and you might need a lamp if it's kind of dark. I know, look at, sometimes people at libraries, they read to you. They're called librarians. That can happen too. There are so many great things at libraries, and I hope you get a chance to go to a library someday and check it out. They're amazing. Candy, is that where you thought George was? Candy, you're smarty pants, you. I think George might be somewhere else. Let's check. Ooh, all right, this one's tough. All right, we have some grass. I see some grass. Do you see that, friends? You see some grass? Okay. George is somewhere where there's grass and, ooh, what's this a picture of down here? That looks like dirt. Or mulch. Have you ever heard of the word mulch? Mulch is just kind of like dirt. Yeah. And there's a bench or a place to sit. And a tunnel. Oh, I just had an idea. My friends, have you ever seen a tunnel like that somewhere? I know you have, Candy. I think I know where George is. I want you friends to take a guess first, though. Take a guess until you're grown up. Where do you think George is at in his community? Try to think of your community, too, and places that you have been. Let's see. Yes, I knew it. I knew that George was at the playground or the park. Because look, playground and park, they have grass. And sometimes they also have mulch. The mulch is there because it's a little bit softer than the grass. So in case anybody falls or has an accident, it can help protect them a little bit. Ooh, there's also tunnels there and benches. That's where I thought George was. Is that where you thought I'm so sorry. Sometimes Miss Chelsea just gets her words mixed up. Is that where you thought George was too? Because that's where I thought. What about you, Candy? You did? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. I think this is George's last stop. So let's guess where he is and we try to get him and give him a hug. Let's see. We need a paper and pencil. Where at in your community might you need a paper and pencil? I don't know. Ooh, this looks like another library. But George was already at the library, so we know he's not there again. He was already there. It looks like there's like a playhouse in that one. And what's this picture down here? That looks like food. Where might George be? Do you have any guesses, friends? He would need a paper and pencil. There's a library there. Looks like there's some food and a playhouse. Where might George be? I think George has stumped me on this one, friends. I have no idea. Do you have a guess? Go ahead and tell your grown-up. What is your guess? Let's see. Oh my goodness, George is at school. He's at school. So I know some of my friends watching, they may have gone to school already, maybe preschool or kindergarten or higher, or maybe some friends, they haven't gone to school yet, and that's okay too. But George is at the school, and there are schools in your community. I love that, George. George, you silly monkey, he was just out exploring his community. Friends, do you remember what community is? Community is a group of people and places that are surrounding you, right? So you might have the police station in your community, or a school, or a library. All those things are part of your community. And in Miss Chelsea's classroom, all of my students are a part of our classroom community, where we love each other and support each other. I had such a great time playing this fun game with you, where George was. That silly monkey was just out exploring everywhere. You friends did an awesome job too. Those clues were kind of tricky, and I know you smarty pants did a great job. Kiss your brain and say thank you. Thank you, brain, because you were just working super hard. Awesome job, friends. All right, I am gonna clean up because next up we have our story time. And guess what our book is going to be about? I'll give you a hint. Yes, it is gonna be about Curious George. So you stay right there, and while I go get that book, why don't you jump around and get some of those sillies out so that you are focused and concentrated for our amazing story. I'll be right back, friends. See you soon. Hi friends, it's Miss Chelsea and we are back for story time. Today we are going to read a story about Curious George. Just like he visited the library during our game, our story is Curious George Visits the Library. And it's by Margaret and H.A. Hayes. Let's check it out. This is George. He was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today, George and his friend, the man with the yellow hat, were at the library. George had never been to the library before. He had never seen so many books before either. Everywhere he looked, people were reading. Some people read quietly to themselves. But in the children's room, the librarian was reading out loud. Wow. It was story hour. George loved stories. He sat down with a group of children to listen. The librarian was reading a book about a bunny. George liked bunnies. Behind the librarian was a book about dinosaurs. George liked dinosaurs even more. He hoped she would read it next. But next the librarian read a book about a train. George tried to sit quietly and wait for the dinosaur book to be read, but sometimes it's hard for a little monkey to be patient. My friends, sometimes do you find it hard to be patient? I know I do, but I just have to try my best. When the librarian started a story about jungle animals, George could not wait any longer. He had to see the dinosaur book. He tiptoed closer. "Look, a monkey!" shouted a girl. The librarian put her fingers to her lips. "We must be quiet so everyone can hear," she said nicely. "But there's a monkey," said a boy. The librarian nodded and smiled. She agreed. When she finished reading the jungle story, the librarian reached for the dinosaur book. Where did it go? And where was George? George was all ready to take the dinosaur book home and read it with his friend when another book caught his eye. This book was about trucks. George wanted to take it home too. And here was a book about elephants. George loved elephants. He added it to his pile. George found so many good books, he soon had more than he could carry. He leaned against a shelf to rest. Squeak went the shelf. Shh, said a man. Squeak went the shelf, and it moved. Why, it wasn't really a shelf after all. George had found a special cart for carrying books. Well, look, now George could carry all the books he wanted. He rolled the cart between the shelves and stacked up the books about boats and kites and baking cakes. He climbed higher to reach the books and cranes and planes. At last, George had all the books he could handle. He couldn't wait to head home and start reading. And right in front of him was a ramp leading to the door. George was curious. Could he roll the cart all the way home? Down the ramp George went. The cart rolled faster and faster. "Stop!" a librarian volunteer shouted. "Come back here with my cart!" But George was too excited to listen. The cart was picking up speed and George was having fun. My friends, that is actually where we're going to stop today for our story. Guess what? You are going to have to go check out Curious George Visits the Library to find out the ending and see if George made it home. All right, I am going to go get ready for our craft, and I will see you so soon. I'll be right back. Hi friends, it's Miss Chelsea and Candy here, and we are back for craft time. My friends, what an amazing book that was about George. That monkey is always getting into things. But you want to know what I love about that monkey too? I love George's best friend, the man in the yellow hat. My friends, who's your best friend? Maybe it is a grown-up. Maybe mom, dad, grandma, uncle, aunt. That's okay. My mom's my best friend. I wonder who your best friend is. Candy, who's your best friend? Oh, Candy, I love you. Candy said I was her best friend. Well, today, my friends, because George's best friend is the man in the yellow hat, I thought we could create our own special hat. And even if you wanted to make 2 of them and give them to your best friend and 1 for you so you could have matching hats, that would be so cool. Are you ready to get started? Oh, you are too, Candy? Well, Candy, I'm gonna have to set you down so that I can make the craft with our friends. Is that okay? Okay, I'm gonna set you right here by our story. Awesome. So today, my friends, we are going to make our own special hat, just like George's best friend, the man in the yellow hat. He always wears that yellow hat. So I made one like this. Oh, it's kind of like a crown. I thought that would be my special hat, but you don't have to have the same type of hat as me because guess what? We are all artists and we are all super creative. So my hat might not look like your hat, or your hat might not look exactly like mine, and that is okay because we're all special and we're all unique and we are all artists. I love it. All right, let me tell you what we need for our special craft. So you might want to grab some scissors. some markers. So I have a couple different markers here. I grabbed some markers. I grabbed a stapler, but if you don't have a stapler, you could use glue, okay? Or tape, that would work. And you'll also need some paper. So I have a big white piece of paper here, but like I said, your hat might not look exactly like mine, and that's okay. Are you ready to get started? Our first step we are gonna do is we get to decorate. So I brought my markers out, but if you have stickers at home or if you wanna paint, ask your grown-up and maybe they can help you. But I grabbed markers today. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I wanna write my name on the hat so everybody knows that it's my hat, all right? And I am writing my name and then I'm gonna decorate it. So here's my name, Miss Chelsea. And I think I'm gonna start with some shapes. I think so, some shapes. Maybe some pretty hearts. Yeah, some hearts, I love hearts. You could add some hearts too, or you could start with a different shape. That's all right. Maybe, ooh, you know what else I love? Smiley faces. I'm gonna add some smiley faces. Check out my hat so far, my decorations. There it is, Miss Chelsea with the smiley faces and the hearts. What else, friends? What else do you think I should put on there? Did someone say a flower? I like flowers, sure. All right, I'm gonna make a flower. Actually, I think I'll make a couple flowers. Yeah, there's my center. And I should definitely, a flower has to have petals. So I'll give it some petals. Yeah, check it out. There's my decoration so far. What do you think? Thank you. That was such a nice compliment. Somebody said that they loved it. All right, maybe I should add one more. You know what I like? I like lightning bolts. I think they're kind of cool and special. So I'm gonna draw some lightning bolts here. Ooh, yeah, I like that. All right, check out my decorations, friends. Isn't that cool? I hope you get a chance to make this if you're not making it right now with me. And if your grown-ups forget what material you need, guess what? They can go to WQLN.org where there will be a list of everything you need to make your special hat. But it's okay, remember that if you don't have all the things that I have, that is a-okay because we're all unique and we're all artists. All right, the next step after you decorate it, my friend, is you have to fold it a little so that it becomes circular like this. And this is where my stapler is gonna come into hand. But like I said, if you don't have a stapler, grab some tape or some glue and you can glue it. But I just find that staples hold it together a little bit tighter. But check it out, I have it. Here it is. And the last thing I'm gonna do, this is why I need my scissors. I made my hat into a crown. And if I'm gonna do that, I need to take some scissors and I need to cut some triangles out of the top of my hat. But if you don't wanna make yours into a crown and you just wanna leave it as is, that's okay. Or maybe you're like, I don't wanna do triangles and you wanna do a different shape. Guess what? That's okay too. Why is that okay? Because we are all unique and we are all artists. I love it. I'm almost done cutting out my triangles for my awesome crown. Here it is, my friends. And look, I even have some triangle pieces that I could color if I wanted and tape it on there for more decorations. Isn't that cool? And my favorite part, I have two of them now, one for me and one for my best friend. Just like George's best friend is the man in the yellow hat. We made hats today. I hope that you get a chance to make these, friends, because these are pretty fun. And like I said, if you want to paint on them, you can paint. You could add stickers. You could add gems if you have it. Whatever you have at home, I'm sure you will make an awesome, awesome hat. Candy, what you doing down there? How do you like our hat? Do you like it? check it out. Do you want to try it on, Candy? Okay. Oh, I think it's a little too big for Candy. What do you think? You think so too, Candy? We'll have to make you a smaller one, huh? My friends, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with Candy and I today. I know Candy loved the game we played where we were guessing where George was out in the community. Do you remember what a community is, friends? You do? All right, tell me what a community is. Yes, a community is the people and places like in your town, in your city, around you, where you live. It could be like the school or the grocery store. Those are all things in your community. And people are also part of your community, like police officers and hairdressers and teachers. They are all part of your community. I love it. And remember, George went to the library, to the post office, to the grocery store. He was just out exploring. That George, I love it. And my friends, we read George, the book. He went to the library. I love reading, and I especially love reading about George because he is my favorite PBS character. I love him. And then we just made these hats because George's best friend is Man in the Yellow Hat, and I thought we should have some special hats too. I love it. My friends, I have had such a wonderful day with you today, and I hope you have too. So until next time, I hope you keep reading, keep learning, and keep watching WQLN Homeroom, where learning is brought to life. Goodbye.